Hey, what's up? It's Rob here, and what I want to share with you in this video is a mindset and a perspective that is absolutely essential in order for you to get any results or any traction with a new clothing brand at all. And the crazy part about what I'm going to share with you here is that so few people who are starting up a clothing brand really understand this. So I'm parting this knowledge on you with the hopes that you'll put this in place for your own brand. You'll actually use this inside of your own clothing brand to get better results than the average clothing brand that's just starting up right now. And what I want to talk to you about is how every single clothing brand that starts up these days has the same blank canvas to paint on. And what I mean by that is we all have the same social media platforms to use. We all have the same website builder tools. We all have the same email marketing platforms. We're all competing in the same landscape. Everybody's facing the same competition. And so what this means is that there's hundreds and hundreds of brands that are all trying to make it in the same space online on these social media platforms. And the ones that gain any success, the ones that gain any traction, are brands that have this awareness that they're going to have to take actions, do things differently with their brand that nobody else is really doing, that so few other clothing brands are actually willing to do or are doing within their brand. And so I can think of a great example right now of a clothing brand called Whole Strength that got, over $1 million worth of sales in their first 16 months. And this guy locked into a formula that I'm going to share with you in this video that allowed him to be different from all of the other brands out there. And it's why he's gotten the results that he's been able to get. And so I'm going to talk to you about this in this video. I'm going to break it down for you and allow you to understand this on a level that really seeps in. And I think that what you're going to get from this is you're going to come out of it with this newfound energy and motivation to really separate yourself and be different from all the other brands out there, because it's really at the root of what's going to allow you to be successful. So I hope you enjoy. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at Design Crowd. And if you struggle with designs, then I really recommend that you try them out. You post a project on Design Crowd, amazing designers from all around the world are going to compete for your project. You choose the winner, then you get that design plus revisions. I've literally sold thousands of these designs on my website. I got them all made through Design Crowd. If you're interested, head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn about the special offer that I have for you, or just use the discount code apparel when you post a project on Design Crowd. Okay, so something crazy that I've noticed is just how many new clothing brands have this delusional, egoic perspective towards their brand. And what I mean by this is that they view their clothing brand as being the center of the universe. They think that when they launch their brand, that everybody's just going to know about it, that their posts on social media are just going to take off and everything's just going to happen because they created their brand. And if you've ever heard the saying, the world doesn't revolve around you, it's a really big slap in the face for most people that start up their brands when they realize that truly the world doesn't revolve around them and people don't care about their brand nearly as much as they think they will. And so the reason why this perspective is so important is because what you realize after going through this experience multiple times is that, the landscape on social media is ridiculously competitive. Like, it's so insanely competitive that we can't even really fathom how competitive it is. Like, how many YouTube videos and TikTok videos and Instagram Reels are being uploaded every single day. Millions and millions and millions, and everybody's competing for that attention. And so what I'm hoping that you'll get out of this is you'll realize that the little small, simple things like posting pictures of your clothing brand and making simple little TikToks that you're not really thinking about or Reels that you're not really thinking about, it's not really going to work for your brand. Like, it's not going to separate you. It's not going to allow you to be different. And so in order for you to get your brand out there, you really have to think truly differently. So the obvious follow-up question here is, how can I make this happen for my own brand? what can I do to get the attention that I desire on social media? And I want to share with you some examples of what this would look like to truly be different and to truly make this work for your brand. So a company that, I had on this YouTube channel, I did an interview with him, is called Whole Strength. This guy did over $1 million worth of sales in his first 16 months without spending a single dollar on ads. And obviously when you hear that, he must have been doing something differently than what the majority of people are doing on social media. And what exactly was it? What was he doing that was so different? What he was doing on social media that was so different is for the first year, he was just posting like crazy on TikTok. So like 3 to 5 times a day on TikTok, 3 to 5 times a day on Instagram Reels, 3 to 5 times a day on YouTube Shorts. So he was just a content generating machine. And throughout this process, he was learning what works. And this is the most key part. He was learning which actions, which video topics gave him disproportionate returns. Okay, this is called asymmetrical returns, and you want to be looking for these in your business at all times. This is where basically the units of energy that you're putting in as an entrepreneur are providing disproportionate returns back to you. And what he found was there was a formula for TikTok videos and Instagram Reels that, maybe 1 or 2 of every 10 video that he posted went viral. And if he posted 10 TikToks every 2 days, then that's basically a video going viral like every single day. And so it was producing these disproportionate returns for the amount of actions that he was taking, growing his account rapidly and gaining the exposure that he and everybody else that's in the clothing space desperately desires. Okay, so the formula that he found is unique to his own brand. And it's something that he only learned through experimentation. And, I've been trying to do something similar with my own Canadian-based clothing brand here. For those of you who don't know, I run a Canadian-based brand called K-Bud Apparel that represents rural Canada. And we just touch on the humor and the slang here in rural Canada. And so on TikTok, I've been exploring with all these different formulas of videos. And I locked into a period of videos where it was like, every third video I was getting like 20,000, 30,000, sometimes 100,000, 300,000 plays on these videos. And if you post like 3 of those a day, you realize like how quickly you can really blow up an account and get all this attention. But what so few people do is actually stick to that process to figure out what that unique approach to their audience and to social media is. What's that new way that you can offer value on social media that nobody's doing it? And then you have to be disciplined and consistent with it, right? And it's basically like everybody has the same canvas, but only a few people are actually painting on this canvas in a unique way that's like different from everybody else, and that's really doing it in an effective way that other people are truly, enjoying and getting value from. Now, what's key here is that throughout the process of trying to figure this out, you're obviously going to have a lot of posts flop, and the vast majority of the posts that you try to make are going to flop. So you have to really embrace the whole process here and not just get, sad when one of your posts gets like 84 views on TikTok, right? You need to keep going. And then eventually when you do hit something that works, you want to ask yourself, why did that work? What was it about that video that got more attention than usual? And I can almost guarantee that when that happens, there's something about that video, there's something about that content that was different or unique or had some sort of formula to it that you could try again. And when you just try that more and more times, maybe you realize that, hey, there's a little bit of a formula here that if I just do this regularly, I'm really getting some views incoming my way. And then you can lock into a formula and chisel that formula and get it better and better and better. Now, this is the crazy part. What I just explained to you is a rabbit hole because it only applies to the content marketing aspect of your clothing brand. You can zoom out and apply this same thinking to every other aspect of your brand. Like, what is your entire brand about to begin with? What's the whole brand concept about? If it's the same thing as everybody else, it's going to be a lot harder to penetrate the market and to gain market share and to compete within this landscape. You have to be doing something unique and something different. Or when it comes to you running ads for your brand, if all of your ads have the exact same looking creative as everybody else, if you're doing it the exact same way as everybody else, then you're probably going to get the same results that most people get, which is pretty crap. You have to kind of figure out these ways that you can be different and gain this disproportionate attention for the effort that you're putting in. Otherwise, you're never going to have a profitable clothing brand. You're never going to have a brand that works. And so the main message of this video is to zoom out and recognize the landscape that you're competing in, that everybody has the same canvas that we're painting on. When you look at the landscape that everybody's competing on, you want to zoom out and say, okay, if everybody's doing this, how can I be different here? How can I do something different over here? Like even something as simple as posting 3 times a day on TikTok regularly for like 6 months is something that most brands can't keep up with. So you've got a competitive advantage there. If most brands are falling off and they're not posting content regularly, you're going to be one of the few that's actually sticking to it and who's going to get, abnormal results than most people who just post, once a week and they can't keep up with their content creation. And, what are all of the other areas that you can gain a competitive advantage and a slight advantage? If you're not thinking like this and you're just doing the same generic things that everybody else is, and there's no creativity or resourcefulness applied, you're really going to struggle to make it in this space, because unfortunately in this space, that is what is required of you as a clothing brand owner. And I hope that I drilled it in enough in this video and that this really helps you grow your brand. So I hope you enjoyed.